Hey yogis, welcome to Yoga for Dentists. I'm Dr. Josie DeVideo, longtime dentist and certified yoga teacher. Today's episode can also be found on your favorite podcast listening app by searching Yoga for Dentists. I'd like to invite you to hang out with me and other like-minded dental professionals. We can be found on Facebook or Instagram by searching Yoga for Dentists, or you can find us by clicking on the links in the description of this video. Also listed in the description is a freebie created specifically with dental professionals in mind, so don't forget to check that out. And of course, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to this channel. And if you find value in this episode, please share it with your colleagues and leave a comment or like this video. Doing any of those will help Yoga for Dentists reach the dental community. So, if you've been following Yoga for Dentists for a while, either on Instagram or in the private Facebook group, you probably know that I love yoga props. And maybe you get the sense that props are helpful, but you're not sure how to use them, or maybe you even have the misconception or the notion that using yoga props is cheating somehow in your yoga practice. Well, I'm here to tell you that yoga props do not make your practice less than. Just like not using them doesn't make your yoga practice better than. In fact, ideally, there should be no such thing as comparison or competition in yoga. There is, however, a focus on awareness. Learn to be aware of what might benefit you and explore those observations. Yoga props are simply a tool that support you in your body and in your yoga practice by offering a loving way to meet your body and your practice honestly and openly. You know how it is. Some days dentistry beats you up and you won't be able to access a yoga pose or a range of motion that you normally can. Or maybe you do have the range of motion that day, but you'd like to take a more restorative approach to your yoga practice. Maybe your mind has had it and you just can't even think about getting into a full expression of a pose without the props. So using yoga props will give your body and mind some additional support. Props are awesome. So today I just wanted to encourage you to explore the use of yoga props in your practice. I have started creating posts on the website that incorporate yoga props, and one post that I did recently for Matsyasana, also known as fish pose, has gotten some great feedback. Fish pose is a reclining back bend, and there are many variations of this pose, and in the traditional version of the pose, you don't use props. But your neck is cranked back and placed in an extreme extension. And as you're doing that, the goal is to place the top of your head on the floor. Now, I do not practice this pose, and I certainly don't teach the full expression of this pose because, in my opinion, it is very difficult for most people to do it safely, especially dental professionals with their neck imbalances. But variations of this pose are great for providing a much needed release for our dentistry weary bodies, right? Our necks and shoulders. This pose is great for that. So supported fish pose. And, let me pause here for a second. Whenever you hear supported in front of a yoga pose, that means that you're going to be using props. And there are many, many ways to support a pose. So supported fish pose expands the chest, providing the counter pose to how we normally go through our day, which is hunched over people, even if we have the best ergonomic equipment. So a supported yoga pose can really relieve tension. So what I'm going to do is provide a link to this pose to the show notes of this episode. So wherever you're listening, there should be show notes and you'll see the link. Usually that link is clickable, but if your podcast app does not provide a clickable link, then you can always pop in to the Yoga for Dentists private Facebook group, or you can DM me on Instagram and I will send you the link. But I want you to check out the link for fish pose on the Yoga for Dentists website, which is yogafordentist.net. And you can see how I'm using a variety of props to support my neck and shoulders and back in this pose. So I hope I've given you some permission to use yoga props today. You don't need that permission from me, but I want you to know that it's totally reasonable, normal, and even encouraged to use yoga props in your practice, whether you're doing your yoga at home or in a studio. And in fact, it is a wise yogi who knows what their body needs and how to support their body in their practice. So I hope to hear from you that you've incorporated the use of props into your practice. Feel free to email me, josie@yogafordentist.net. Or, of course, you can always hit me up on social media, Instagram and Facebook @Yoga for Dentist. Till next time, friends, be well.